Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a Truder. Welcome back to Empire Total War, where today, it's time for the big showdown between the Netherlands and France, and bloody hell in Empire Total War, you feel like it's a big, epic showdown. So, let's talk battle tactics when we're dealing with big field battles like this. Number 1, how nearby are you to the enemy? Because in many town fights, you start so far apart, your cannons can't reach the other. Basically, they can just hit a no man's land in the centre. In field fights, however, that's very often not the case. So you can see here, my cannons are capable of striking right into where the French are starting, right from their deployment zone. So, as a result of that, the French may choose to advance even though they're the defensive power. If they stay still, they're just going to get shelled, and nobody wants to get shelled. Number 2, make sure you get your line of sight correct, because we're dealing with guns here, meaning for a unit to fire, there must be a straight, uninterrupted line between where they are and their targets. This guy right here, no trouble. Nice clean lines in every direction. This guy, however, right in the centre, oh dear, well this is no good at all. There is a very small elevation in front of me. So imagine the luck of the bastard who's trying to advance at me right here. Even though I've got troops everywhere, a unit of troops standing here is basically safe from all fire, right up to the point where they crest this hill. Then my units can fire. However, at that point, they've already closed half the gap. So you've got to be careful of even minor elevations. Also of note, there are walls here. My units can crouch down under those walls, so in the event of fire back and forth, they get a significant advantage in terms of defense. However, that would involve, yes, me advancing forward towards the French cannons. Okay, the land's a bit flatter, so I'm going to pull back a tiny bit and set up Unit 1. This is my core line, right here. My cannons, keep them in the centre, don't leave them isolated, and have them flanked by my best troops. Units 2 and 3 represent the flanks. 4 units of line infantry each, on the left and the right. Now I know for a fact the French are not going to be able to draw up as wide as me. Therefore, they're going to choose a particular angle they want to assault. Whichever angle they do not go for, the other group immediately starts moving forward to create a flank. So, if they're on this side, the guys over on the far side, they move in and start going in this direction, and vice versa. If the French decide to be on the right, guys on the left, they start moving forward and in. We want to be flanking them and shooting them from multiple angles. Fights in this game are very rarely decided by who runs out of men because everybody's dead. They're decided by a morale shock. Fire from multiple angles. Fire from artillery. A big cavalry charger to push them over the edge. That's how it's done. The general stays right in the centre where he's going to be nice and safe. We don't want to lose him. We can apply him somewhere if need be. We would rather not. The pikemen will keep the general secure, and on top of that, can be tossed forward if we need a little bit of reinforcement from some pretty damn competent melee fighters. Cavalry on either flank, of course, and finally, yes, the militia. Wherever we need to apply a bit of extra pressure, we can do it with these guys. So the general is nice and snug and secure. My cannons have a great shot. They should be able to start firing, yes, immediately. When the French get closer, we put these over to canister shot and start shredding them. And, okay, I know what you're thinking. John, what about the Spanish? They're going to be coming in from the east. So, fun fact about reinforcements in this game, they don't work like that, and I've never been able to figure out, and I don't think Creative Assembly have ever said, whether this was a bug or a feature. Because in Rome 1 and Medieval 2, reinforcements came from where they logically should come from based on their positioning in the campaign map. Now, this was realistic, I suppose, but also created some ridiculous nonsense scenarios where you knew where they were coming from, so you could just lay an ambush which they would just placidly walk into because they weren't active units till they were on the field. A bit easy to manipulate, to be honest. So in Empire, they don't do that anymore, though, as I say, it could just be a bug. Nobody knows. They come instead from a randomly selected angle. They might be behind the French, they might be behind me, they might be on either flank. So, okay. end the deployment, and we're going to learn two things immediately. One, where are the Spanish? And two, where have the French decided to draw up? In general, and in particular, their cannons. Alright, what do we have here? And I see on the minimap already. Okay, behind me. Can I bring in any troops to assist with this? Well, you know what? Check where the French are. Yes, they're drawn up more over to this side. In particular, their cavalry. They've got lancers. They are flimsy. They will fall apart in seconds, and yes, they're exactly what you think they are. They're old school Total War cavalry where they've got a huge charge bonus, but they will fall apart if you shoot them. So, okay, he's deployed his cavalry on this side. And the majority of his cannons too. This is where most of his strength is. There is less on this frontier. So as a result of that, I feel like we should definitely deploy a little bit of firepower straight over here as fast as you flippin' like. So some of this flank can be reassigned to assist with that. For the time being, the cannons are just going to exchange fire. There should be, yeah, some pretty decent shots floating around, all things considered. My most immediate concern is actually the Spanish. They're actually nearer to me than the French are. Would you guys like to go and intercept? Honestly, if you guys want to, yeah, just do it. It's fine. Go and hit the general if you can. You guys just getting over here too. And it looks to me like he is trying to launch a charge at the cannon. Watch out, by the way, the Spanish have brought light infantry. They've got special long-range guns. They can fire 25% further than my line infantry. And they're also very accurate, good at reloading. Their downside is they only come with 80 men per unit, not 160. And in melee, they're terrible. Get something on top of them, they're in trouble. Cavalry demolishes them, but they, properly supported, will demolish line infantry. But yes, as I was saying, we're just going to enjoy this, because the Lancers are about to move into position and be shot, and oh dear. Oh flippin' dear. Right, okay, guys, just help out as best you can, please. Just get over here and help your friends, and as soon as they're seen off, because these guys, well, why are you not running? Please run faster. How are you guys doing over here? You're doing competently. We've already killed an enemy general. I assume that was the Spanish lad, right? And yeah, General's bodyguard, he's been taken out. So, okay. We've got trouble on this side, and here we go. Just check the cannons are A-okay. Yeah, they took a very light knock, but they're basically fine. Redraw up the battle line right here. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, they've just tossed away basically a fair bit of their cavalry for pretty much nothing. In fact, I'd say at this point, the left flank's looking pretty uncontested. Time to start moving them forward into a better position. Just start sweeping them round. Over here, looks like the same thing's happened. Yeah, the Lancers have been, I assume, just shot. I'm seeing plenty of horse corpses. As a result of that, how much cavalry is left? There is one unit at the rear. I think it's safe to start bringing my own cavalry forward. Check what direction you're moving in. Honestly, I'd be pretty happy in a moment to start bringing you guys in as well. We've got the wider line, so it should start curling in to deal with this nonsense. This is where the real army is waiting. Okay, the proper French forces are moving in. The exchange of fire is about to begin. This is where the left flank becomes crucial. Because what we've now got is a situation where their main force, the real hardcore hitters, the bloody line infantry, are moving on the centre. Now, we could just shoot back and forth and lose a whole bunch of everything, but that would be really, really dumb. We don't want to do that. We want to surround them, isolate them, and kill them. That's the key right there. Still, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. The fire is now coming in. They may or may not choose to try and charge the cannons, or they might just, yes, stand and fight. Guys, open fire right there. You guys are just opening fire right there as well. I love it. So at this point, yes, we need to consider when do we want to charge versus when do we not want to charge. Because these guys are now being fired upon from multiple angles. They're sending cavalry forward. Honestly, if they want to bring their cavalry forward, I'm happy to... Where's it going? Where are you guys going? I don't know, but I'm going to ignore it for now and just surround these guys instead. They're steady, they're under fire. I think they've just realised my cavalry's going for their cannons and they're going to try and intercept, but now it's too late. So now these guys are coming forward. They tried to actually advance into my units. It did not work well for them. This unit over here in particular is being absolutely annihilated. Okay, cannon number 1 taken care of. Cavalry's doing a good job over here. Take a moment to make sure we understand what's going on with the... Okay, the Spanish situation did not end well. My own pikemen have been taken apart and the light infantry did a competent job. Okay, so the Spanish, yes, their leader is dead, but some of their infantry is still on the field. At this point, the question is, what do we send? You guys are already firing over on this side. Honestly, keep doing that. That's fine. You guys, it's time to activate plug bayonets, and then as soon as that's done, advance and intercept the pikemen. We do have, yes, some line infantry right here. You guys could just turn and fire. Honestly, that's a-okay. That would be fine. At this point, instead, we probably want to start rolling up the line. So you guys, activate bayonets if you'd be so kind, and now charge in the sides. My cannons in the centre appear to be doing a good job, but yeah, these guys are now spiky, highly effective murder boys, and they are about to go in and hit the French in the flank, and as soon as that happens, these guys are going to break. That was the pressure we needed to get rid of them. We are pushing them, they're wavering, they will break, which is beautiful. As soon as that happens, we can start rolling up the line. You guys start pushing forwards. So you guys are still wavering. Don't guard mode anymore, it's fine. Right, broken. Now start rolling up the line. Number 1 is gone. If we can just make this happen. What's going on with the Spanish, by the way? This appears to be going perfectly well. You guys get over to here. Shoot the, yes, pikemen in the back over there. This is all absolutely fine. This appears to be taking care of itself. These guys are now shaken while simultaneously being shot. My cavalry at the back are doing a good job. Move over there. Take care of that. There is a bit of an exchange going on over here. Bit of an awkward angle. You guys get over here. We appear to have killed the enemy general. That's going to knacker their morale even more. What's left? Okay, pikemen are on the way out. Go for the light infantry. They can shoot further than I can. My cannons are just going over to here. Line infantry are doing their own job too. You guys should be running if you're not already. And at this point, my cannons are just shooting the retreating French, which is beautiful. Where's the cavalry that was on this flank? I don't know, but oh, that's a good shot. Well done. You guys just go chase them down. Bear in mind, once a unit's been put into bayonet mode, it can't come back out. It's just in that mode going forward. So what we need to do now is, yes, try and make sure there are minimal survivors, particularly on the side of the French, because this was the biggest, most dangerous army, and it's going to be the one that survives in a way. It's going to retreat. It's going to try and rebuild. We want to make sure it can't do said thing. So my cavalry now just goes around mopping up any units that are, yes, left or trying to recover. So these guys are wavering and they should be shattered momentarily. This unit is isolated. There we go. Probably best you guys just stop firing at this point. Just hold your fire. Where's the general? General can chase down these guys. They're shattered. They're not coming back. Cavalry over here can chase down these guys. That's not cavalry. This is cavalry. Make sure they don't get away. I want these guys shattered, broken, and destroyed. A unit that gets away damaged can be repaired. A destroyed unit needs to be retrained from scratch. It is much better to destroy through pursuits. Okay, end result is I have lost 500 men. The French forces, they have lost much, much more. So their force is now reduced to 300. It's not an effective fighting force anymore. My force, still pretty good to be cracking on. And the Spanish are... oh. The survivors would appear to be abandoning the local area. So that's interesting. And irritatingly, it would appear that, yes, my entire army can't make it to Flanders. Now, the bigger problem is replenishment. How much is this going to cost? 3 grand. Probably for the better. Now, I think I did just say I can 100% get to Flanders if I'm willing to what needs to be left behind. There we go, it was these 3, who I assume are the troops that came from, yes, the Netherlands today as reinforcements. So, okay, I'm so sorry guys, you need to just be left here. Hopefully, the French won't attack you. And with that, we can move straight in immediately. In fact, okay, they can't get to the fight, but they are allowed to be reinforcements in the same fight they can't get to, which is, sure, whatever. Point is, we can make it to Brussels, in Flanders. Sorry, I was confused. I thought Brussels was somewhere else, or possibly where I was. Maybe I thought Brussels was one of the 7 Netherlands. But no, it's definitely not. Sorry. I'm gonna be honest, this is not going well for the Spanish garrison. No. I'm embarrassed I lost 16 men. Alright, that was ridiculously too much. But, oh. Most people do this in turn 1. For me, more like turn 12, 13, wherever we are. We have got Flanders. And, oh, Flanders is good. We have got a prosperous town right here set up as a weaver's cottage, meaning that's making more money than weaver's cottages elsewhere in the world will, because the region's prosperous. Down over here, currently unfortunately occupied by the Spanish. We'll need to go take care of that. There is another craft workshop. This one, wealthy. Again, making loads of bloody money. And Spain, you stupid bastards, there's a wealthy port here, which they've turned into a shipyard, so you can recruit super elite mega vessels. Nope. No. We'll be burning that to the ground, actually. This port is going to be a trade hub. And unlike the trade hubs we built in Scandinavia, this one's got a road link back to Amsterdam. And that means we can increase the number of trading partners we have. So don't forget we need to, yes, repair all these troops. That's going to cost me 400. Rest of this army, that's going to cost me 3 grand. Do it. Get the army back up to strength. Unfortunately, yes, units with experience, that experience will be diluted by mixing in what I deem to be inexperienced men. So, yeah, some of my units might lose some experience, but the experience isn't that high right now. It's not a huge deal. The more important point is, Flanders is paying tax immediately. It's an immediate neighbour, it's in Europe. A change in management here is not such a big deal. They're even half Protestant, so they're okay with the fact they're now under Protestant management. So, yes, this here should be no trouble whatsoever. Now, you may notice one small issue and or opportunity, which is I'm now next door to Paris. For the first time in this game, I've got a land border with France in Europe. And, oh, that's not always a good thing, actually. The bastards will be back. They're not going to take this line down and... Wait, hang on. That's... France doesn't own... Wait, how long's that been the case? Austria? What did you do? Austria just owns... Did they take it? By force? I mean, they're at war with France, and I'm pretty sure... You guys, are they your protectorates or allies, or... Okay, so it would appear that Austria has arranged a 2-nation military access in order to go and take one of the regions of France, which means France actually at this point has a single region in Europe. That's all they've got, and great European powers must own territory in Europe or they don't exist anymore. I mean, killing Spain is tricky, because Spain has got all this, and they start with all this over here. But France, they may own a giant pile of territory, but most of it is not in Europe. Instead, here we go, we've got all this territory around here, and a bit more down over here as well. Okay, France are supposed to have the lifeline of this lovely territory round Strasbourg, but they've lost it to Austria, meaning Okay, I did not realise that was the case. France are way more vulnerable than I was expecting. How do me and Austria feel about each other? Unfriendly, but nothing too major. Can't trade. Ah, I have a land border with them, but the land border does not extend to the capital. Okay, sea trade with Austria would be fine, though we need to go on a hell of a journey all the way around to the Mediterranean. What we need to do is start thinking long-term here. Because what you want in this game more than anything is secure, friendly borders. And right now I've got that in a few directions. Hanover, they love me. Westphalia, they love me. All I need to do is keep Austria sweet. And honestly, there are plenty of people that hate me more than Austria do. And Austria are very busy, being at war with pretty much everybody, actually. Okay, I've been too slow with India. At this point, yes, the Maratha Confederacy has pretty much eaten the vast majority of the coast territory. So they're going to move around here, take that, yeah. Had there not been so much trouble in the Caribbean, I might have been able to lock this down. But the Maratha have Marathaed, and as they always do, they have eaten all of India. At some point, these guys might get a bit scary, by the way. But for now, me and them are friends. Still, let's focus on the good stuff here. We've just won a major victory that has crippled the French army. It's going to be a long time before they can pull together anything as good as what we just destroyed completely. The British are annihilating their fleets. Alright, the situation is good. Britain, what have you got for me at this point? Just forming a mega fleet? France says yes. France is now abandoning its ports, presumably because it's noticed its army is in terrible, terrible shape and desperately needs to pull itself back together. Now, Spain is also moving north again. Where are you guys going? Okay, nowhere particularly of note. There is some lovely movement right there as well. Nothing that seems to affect me. Hanover is pretty well defended. Sweden, please just be chill. Alright, me and you, I know we've had our differences, but let's just, you know, calm down and not cause trouble for the time being. Build a big fleet, send it elsewhere, go and build an empire, ideally, maybe attack Spain. Okay, Westphalia is also moving around with a really big army. These guys are not nothing. I'm kind of hoping they might do a good job against possible attacks from Prussia. Also, oh my flipping goodness, we've got technology. Magnificent. So, okay, what I've just done is I have researched the ring bayonet. This means that fixing bayonets is no longer a one-way street. So now my unit can just go between good at murder in terms of stabbing and good at murder in terms of shooting. And I'm no longer locked on a one-way street, which is brilliant. And we've also got the social contract. So, technology, faster, wealth goes up, national prestige goes up too. Prestige, by the way, is a really interesting little system, which basically boils down to how good is your nation versus the other great powers. Having a big military helps. Having a big navy helps. Having certain technologies helps. Having a good economy helps. So, right now, I'm not doing so hot. Instead, Prussia is actually leading the way because for whatever reason, they have got an economy that is going bananas. I love it. Or rather, I don't, because they're my enemies. I'm at war with them. Now, Spain. Spain. Me and you need to have a chat about how you're about to be dead. Sorry, I'd forgotten this. Yes, this takes away the button. You don't need the button anymore, because now bayonets are just permanently affixed. So, yes, at this point, you can just be effective in melee or range without bothering one way or the other. And no, guys, get away from the nasty pikemen, please. Leave them alone. There we go. That's them taken care of. Back to the city with me. Lovely. My troop's still healing up. I think we lost, like, 10 men. So, when we heal up tomorrow, we will be 10 men short. But I think it's fine, to be honest, and I suspect the French have been trying to take this territory back this entire time because somebody is burning down these iron fields and whatnot. Oh, and this is very convenient. Okay, so Flanders is in just the right position for me to talk about a really fascinating little inheritance, which is towns that are not like, big empire capitals can be taken in two distinct directions. You can either say, okay, they're going to have a state house, or transition them into military governor's encampment and military governor's barracks. Basically, this isn't as extreme as city versus castle in Medieval 2, but I feel like the two things are related. Understandably, you make more money if you go civilian, whereas you can train a lot more troops if you go military barracks. So yeah, the state building at its highest level, you're still just training basic militia and conscripts. Very, very bad indeed. This building, not bad. Huge amounts of stuff, including line infantry, various cannons, my own light infantry, we just saw Spain had right there, but unfortunately I don't have the tech for that yet. And a bunch of other stuff that we can't do just this second. Which does remind me, we should nip into, yes, the beautiful, beautiful research tree, because we don't necessarily want to do what the game moved us straight over to. For example, let's say I need more bloody money. I might want to focus instead on things like, say, the Spinning Jenny. 8% bonus to all town wealth generated by those buildings. There's another 12% right there. And that just gets better and better and better as time goes on. But honestly, I am happy to start moving in this direction. Then again, Spinning Jenny is nice and fast, so let's have a little bit of innovation in terms of, yes, beautiful, beautiful textile industries. More money coming off that. And ignore this business for the time being. This would unlock some new units, basically Dragoons, who are units that float around on a horseback but then can dismount in order to fire at the rear at the enemy. They're very good for laying down fire from every angle, and as we were discussing in that last big fight, that's the key to how you win big fights. It's not just, hey, I win the shootout, it's, hey, I win the shootout, but also I have troops round the side. Laying down artillery, here comes the cavalry. You can shatter elite units, really high health, and then just ride them down with cavalry if you can get everyone in the right position. Dragoons help with that a lot. Key for me is military syllabus, because I can't build a drill school until I've got that set up. And once I've got a drill school, a whole bunch of new units become available, including grenades. Everybody loves grenades. But here's the crucial one. Flanders also needs to trade. Okay, more trade routes, giant piles of region wealth, because this is a valuable trade port. Let's go. And speaking of repairs, by the way, that's not the only set of repairs we need to do. This ship now needs to move back into port in order to be repaired up. These guys need some work. So every single one of you, that is only 800, so that's not too bad at all. And what can we recruit to assist? Giving you an extra sloop is not the worst thing in the world. Sloops are pretty good. And yeah, France is 100% desperately tossing together a new army. They are worried. Okay, meanwhile in South America, bring the troops back towards Paramaribo. Okay, you guys aren't happy with that at all, dear oh flipping dear. Right, well, you're just going to have to deal with it unless I'm willing to lower the taxes. It's worth it. I need this army to be moving to Paramaribo. For the simple reason, I don't have eyes on the Spanish right now. If they decide they just want to keep going, then I can't really stop them at the moment. And you also can see here the limits of my technology. So this gold mine, this other gold mine right here, right now, I cannot upgrade them. Now, admittedly, it's not worth a huge amount more wealth, so it's not something I desperately want to rush to, but it is still something that could be bringing in more money than it is doing. On the plus side, though, as we upgrade the core buildings in Paramaribo, we've now got new options available. So we can now actually train native musketmen. And honestly, they're not terrible. They're basically very similar to the light infantry we just saw, that we can't train in Europe right now. Okay? Decent ammunition, and not even that bad if they get caught in melee. They're an interesting unit. We've also got mounted tribal. So, range 70, accuracy 35, these people can fire on a horseback. Horse archers, but guns. Pretty bloody good. Especially for their price point. Only 550, upkeep 160. That is really not much at all. Okay, let's move on here. Britain is still just sailing around. They've got some big, terrifying murder fleets, which is great. I love them. France bringing in more reinforcements. At this point, basically, they've called up every unit they've got to defend Paris. And fair enough, to be honest, yes. Meanwhile, Spain is... hang on, where are you? That's the East Indies! Oh no, no, buddy. That is my territory. Get out, then again. Might be better to just live and let live. Actually, no, John, you've got... How long have I just been sitting on a... Uh-oh. Why is Sweden moving with a giant army? Okay. We might have more problems moving in. Also, Bavaria's gone. Now owned by Prussia. Okay, I'm going to be honest, that's good. Because that means Prussia is advancing with its main forces south. In fact, they've also just eaten... Okay, Prussia might be getting a bit scary strong, actually. Okay, Sweden. Do me and you need to have a chat? Because I suspect you're about to do something very stupid. By which I mean very sensible. You're about to go and take Norway because it's basically unguarded. Okay, my fleet is now back and operational. The Swedish fleet is... okay, heavy on Indian and trading vessels. Not very good at all. But it's not nothing. 6 rates times 3, brig, sloop, and a 5th rate for the Admiral. Honestly, that is comparable to my fleet. Mine is a little bit better, but that would be a messy engagement. Okay, Europe is getting out of hand fast. Prussia is on the march, Sweden might be about to do something stupid, and France is trying to regroup. And that means it's time for action. We have got to lock down one of these fronts and win a convincing, lasting victory, and Austria's actions in Strasbourg have pretty much opened that opportunity for me. If I can take Paris right now, France has been knocked out of the game. Okay, fine, they've got an army here, but their army is 5 cannons. I would bet money plenty of those troops are not actually full strength, and plenty of cavalry, including lancers. Lancers aren't going to be able to do much against me. In a siege, they're going to be bloody worthless. And then the army will be topped up with trash, just the conscripts we've seen before. So, I think we can do this. I have got enough straight-up firepower in the form of line infantry to take Paris. Let's flipping go. Oh yeah, some of these guys are damaged. Line infantry, you're the survivors from the most recent fight. Some of the cavalry, same deal. Then we have got citizens, nothing dramatic, terrible in a melee. And these guys are now much better in a melee, thanks to their bayonets. Cavalry's not going to do much. Cannons are of limited utility when you're actually storming a city. I think we could do this. So, how about we kick off next episode with the Siege of Paris, where we can talk all about how walled settlements work in this game, and more importantly, if I can win, we talk about what's next for the shape of Europe, because it's actually pretty easy to win the war but lose the peace. So, join me next time as we dive a bit deeper into that interesting little idea. Hopefully you join me for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been many a true nerd, and this has been Empire Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye. This guy's enjoying that. This guy's enjoying his elephant a bit too much.
Oh my god.
In fair Verona, we set our scene. Oh my god, Becky, look at her butt. It is so big. They've managed to glitch inside one of the buildings. Elephants in the rear! And then in come the chariots!